I was really scared of men and guys because all my kidnappers were guys.
Daddy, what now? We'll be late for school. Like, what's going on? I said, Jeiel has been kidnapped.
Be like,
My mom was just like, they should just return her back. I don't know, however they want to do it. They should just, even if she's in pieces, they should bring it out, back together, take her back and keep it.
But like the biggest change at the time was the hostility towards my dad. I was fine with my mom and my sisters, but I was really just like, every time I see him, I just frown and like hide behind my mom.
And when we go home, she's like telling my mom that Jesi just totally usurps my authority. She doesn't listen to me. She's always yelling at me. And my mom will be like, you rat, shut up your mouth.
I love your mom, I love your mom.
There's times where the pressure was here. And in our team, what a lot of people don't know is...
You want to delete the YouTube
content?
I rebuke you in Jesus'
And this is when it was doing all these big numbers.
My bags, I'm leaving town. Wow, this has been a long time coming. You know, when they said you guys were in Lagos, I'm like, we have to shoot. We have to shoot. It's great to see you.
You too.
As well.
Okay, so because you guys are sisters, or you're popular sisters, you do work together, people might not be able to separate who is who sometimes. So introduce yourselves.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Jeiel Damina.
Jeiel Damina.
Jemima Damina.
You're the youngest, aren't you?
Yes,
She is.
Jesi Damina.
Jesi Damina.
Yes.
Jesi, are you the oldest?
No,
Jemima is the oldest. Yes, yes, I thought so. I wanted to be sure. Well, great to meet you all.
As well.
Wow. I'm telling you, I'm such a fan of you guys.
Thank you.
And have been for about 2 years. You know, just following the work and thinking, is this a fluke? This seems too good to be true.
Right, we thought the same thing too.
You thought the same thing too?
Yeah, when it started,
Right, tell me about that.
Well, I mean, when we first started out,
First of all, you look like your mom so much. Oh my God.
Yes. But when we first started out, it was just more or less like, you know, let's just put something out there. Because we finished film school, Jesi and I, and we came back in Florida, Full Sail University. So we came back to Nigeria and we're hoping to enter Nollywood. So I remember writing a few emails to a few people in the industry that time. I was like, I'm ready to be your PA, anything, run lights, sound, hold the pole, anything you want. But I just want to get a chance to be in the industry. And nobody got back to me. So I kind of felt crushed and I felt down. And I remember I was speaking to my mom about it and she said, why are you doing all this? You literally went to a school that taught you everything about film. So why not do something with your sisters by yourself? And I was like, oh, that's a great idea. Because I studied cinematography, as filmmaking, and she did animation at first. So, but I know she used to like write scripts and stuff like that. So I said, you know what, Jesi, write something for me and I'll shoot it. And so we did all that. It was just like a mini production. I remember that time our boom pole was a mop stick with a pin mic wrapped at the edge.
For real?
Yeah, that was a boom pole because we didn't have any equipment or anything. But so we did auditions. Like it was a very closed audition process with like church members, just a few people.
Friends.
And I remember she was an extra. She was just supposed to be like a student in the class.
Yeah, so she wasn't, there was no, she didn't plan to be part of this.
Acting or anything. And so we planned that. And then on the day of shoots, none of the actresses showed up. That's the main character, who was supposed to be Olive.
What?
So, yes, and we had the Olive and we had an understudy who was supposed to be like backup. Both of them bailed on that day. So yeah, I remember we were just sitting and wondering, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're like freaking out. So I called my mom and then she was like, why are you freaking out once again? Jeiel is there. Does she know the script? She was like, yes. Okay, then have her do it. I'm like, oh yeah. We should do that.
Wow, that's how you got to do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how she was Olive. And so we shot it, put it on YouTube. YouTube, we're just like, oh, it's a free platform. We can just put it up there and then put it up there. Before we know, I think the first day we had like 300 views because it was us watching it over and over again.
For real.
And then the people who worked with us as well, watching it as well. And then I remember after a week, it was like 1,000 views. And we're like, I know we watch it a lot, but like
not up to 1,000.
And then before we know, I think another week it was 10,000, and literally every week it just kept adding 20, 30, and then I remember when it got to 100K, And like
My
my heart was
heart
literally
stopped.
beating because I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, who is watching? Like,
Oh my God, I have
the
goosebumps.
comments. Yes, I know.
And
We
we're
stopped
like,
checking.
You stopped
Yeah,
checking
we didn't
after
even
that.
look anymore.
Because my dad was the one keeping
Yeah,
score.
he was
like,
now the one
guys,
keeping
it's at
tabs.
100, it's at 200. We're like, no, don't
like,
tell
stop
us,
telling
because
us,
it was
yeah.
freaking us out. Because we know when we were shooting it, it wasn't
No
the best
expectation.
effort.
Yeah.
And then when it was going that far, we're like, no, this is so... We're kind of embarrassed as well because
Yeah.
it wasn't perfect.
Right.
There was terrible audio.
I mean, a mop stick was your move.
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly. Horrible. There was even like you would hear the background noise.
We had to
and
ADR
some
80% of the
scenes.
film.
Yeah.
Because, the
sound
sound
was
was
horrible.
horrible.
So we had the actors come back in and then and then everything. And so
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I have to say, among everything, that was like my worst episode because it ended up being a series later on after it did well. And then
Right.
yep.
And so this episode that you people hate that you're talking about is the one that is now at 10 million views, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
10 million views.
I know.
Crazy.
The way it took off and continues to like
Yes.
just be ahead of everything else is always humbling, I would
is.
say, because I see at the end of the day it's not our efforts, but I would just say it was angels. I would just say it's God's touch on our work that has really taken it far. Because from that episode on our YouTube analytics, that episode is still the one bringing us most of the traffic and everything that we have.
Right,
So
that's what
it-
people first see.
see.
and
Yes,
come
they
and
continue
the
to see
other
that, and then they
thing.
watch the rest of it. So
Yeah.
we're thankful for it at the end of the day.
Okay, so I want to ask Jeiel,
Yes.
this. So of course you could. So yes, there is angels, obviously. There's angels, obviously. What was it like suddenly becoming a lead actor in a thing you didn't plan?
Scary. Scary, and I would say because acting was never my plan. It was never what I wanted to do. So when I started, it was just like, oh, it's a favor to my sisters. It's an emergency. So that's how it started. And after the first one, I was like, oh, I'm never doing this again because that was scary. And I suck at it, like I'm terrible. So this is obviously not for me. And then everyone was like, make it a series, make it a series. I'm like, okay, you guys
So,
can cast
so when you
someone
started
else.
it, you were not even planning to make it,
It was
a
just a
series.
short
No,
film.
just a
Yeah.
short film,
Just
yeah.
a short film.
They're like, make it a series. And I'm like, okay, you guys will cast someone else as Olive, or like, it can't be me. They're like, okay, let's make it a series. And then I had to keep going. And I think it's after like the first 6 episodes, I was like, okay, I actually like doing this.
Yeah.
This is nice. I like being someone else. It's just exciting to like step into someone else's shoes. So it was still scary, of course, because I was inexperienced. I didn't know what I was doing. So, but it was amazing. It was great. It was great. Working with my sisters was amazing for like my first thing.
What were you thinking you were going to be doing?
I was heavily leaning towards fashion. I wanted to be a fashion designer, the next
Yeah.
Ted Baker, or like, Gucci or whatever. But yeah, and modeling.
And
That was my
modeling.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, I can totally see modeling happening. How's that go? So have you ever modeled then?
So after the show started, I haven't really had like the chance to do anything else I wanted to do. It's taken complete control of my whole life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have wanted to branch out into other things, but I think acting is my main thing for now.
It's the main thing for now.
Yeah. So it's been great.
Isn't life incredible? How your part, you think you have all these great plans for your life,
Yeah.
and then God is just laughing like, look at this one. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you didn't know much about it.
Right. So when did this start?
This was in July 2018.
2018.
So this is when the series started. But the music had started before. What this? That
Yes,
before?
2009, 10.
I'm not even sure.
think
I think
it's
it's been
20
12 years. That's
Yes.
what I know.
The music started before you left the country, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, for
Before-
school.
Yes.
Before you knew ourselves.
Before you even knew yourselves. Right. And this was 3 of you.
Yes.
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 Actually, it even
It started
started
with
way
two.
before
Way before
Triple
I
J.
was-
Before
Okay.
Triple J, there was J Sapphires.
Which was
There
the
just-
two of them.
Oh,
Because
right.
she was much too young.
Yes,
to,
yes,
And,
yes.
and then she just used to dance, and then it was now Triple J when she grew bigger, and then she used to dance, and then she started singing. And then
So 2 of you. So you didn't know if she was going. She was much younger. So you
Yeah,
didn't know if
she
she was
was
going to be
still
able to sing.
young.
So you started this group called J Sapphire.
Yes.
Why is that funny?
It's just the name.
was
It's
just
just
the name,
ridiculous.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the name, J Sapphire. Anyway, but so what? How did that start?
Um,
I used to write
Yeah.
songs. I
Right.
still do.
You still do.
I was the music head, and I think I just was used to having her by my side. So I was like, Mama, when I see you harmonize, and I wanted her to be my backup, kind of.
Yeah.
But then we started doing it together, and she would match my energy. And we're like, oh, this is cool. Let's do this more often. And we went to the studio, recorded a few, and then my mom was like, Jeiel is of age, let her join you guys. And we're like, okay. And then my mom was like, why don't you call yourselves TripleJ Plus? She came up with the name. Which
your mom?
Yes, which we hated at first.
We're like,
because
what is
TripleJ Plus?
Flat.
It just, what is that?
Yeah.
But she, being mom, she's mother power and forced all of us to
Right.
take it on. But it's really stuck because even in film now, we say created, if it's a story we wrote, we'll say created by TripleJ Plus. So with the music, that's pretty much how it started. And we would sing and she would dance. And then few years later, we realized she could sing as well. So she started singing with
What's
us.
Plus in the J?
Jesus.
Because it's a J.
So right. So three of you and the man in the fire.
Yes, exactly. exactly.
Right. What's the age gap between you and her?
7 years.
7 years, right?
Yes.
That's
a big gap.
That's a gap. So you guys went out of Nigeria around the same time then, because
we went first.
Yes,
And
then
I
she
came
joined.
like maybe a year later.
Then she joined, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, but your music had started before you left. So did you have to suspend the music?
Oh,
there?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, we thought I was confident that we had disbanded because there wasn't much we could do. We had school, and school was not even in the music route; it was in the film route. So we're like, how are we going to do this? And ever since we went into film through school, we didn't have a chance to come back to music yet.
Yeah.
In fact, the only way we've been able to mesh music with everything is through the show, because I ended up writing a lot of the songs for the show.
Yes.
And that was actually a great compromise for me, because I can't be away from music for long. So having that opportunity, I wrote a few songs.
Then also the theme songs, when you guys do the music, it also blows up on YouTube.
Yes, that also does well. It's true, it's true. And I was like, okay, great, we're having the best of both worlds. It's all working out. It was not until last year I was able to bully them to go in the studio. We went to the studio January this year, and we were able to record a few new songs as TripleJ Plus, which we're currently working on a release this year. So we'll have some new stuff.
So that means that you kind of suspended the music for a bit. Is that what you mean?
Yes,
right.
for like 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
So that you guys just went to the studio last year or this year?
This year.
Oh, just
January.
this year.
Yeah.
So something is cooking.
Something is cooking, sure.
What pushed you to say, okay, let's go to the studio?
I think she said, I'm not going to do music with you guys anymore.
Yes.
You guys want to do.
I kicked them out of the group.
No, wait, okay, what do you want us to do? No, because she's like, you guys are discouraging me. Every time I want to do the music, you're not interested, or... And I'm like, no.
And we all had like the vibe and the energy.
Yeah, and then
it,
for some reason, we
which
were
is-
all
it's aligned,
feeling it.
yeah.
So
Like,
we just said, you know what,
let's
let's do
do
it.
something.
Why do you think you guys were not enthusiastic at first?
I feel like Mama is the
I'm not
least
really-
music oriented.
Yeah.
the one. So she's like rarely ever in the mood for music. So
they have
when
to
she
wake
leaves,
you
it's
up.
like,
She has to
let's
be
do it.
gingered and...
But if it's film, I'm always ready.
always ready.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about your parents, and your dad especially. I mean, I don't know how much you know, but I'm a fan of your dad's.
I think I know.
Okay, you think you know. Okay, I didn't know if you knew. I'm a fan of your dad. I say I have 3 pastors. My pastor whose church I go to in Lagos, Pastor Sam Adeyemi. My pastor whose church I go to when I'm in Uyo, which I'm not going to Uyo a lot, but anytime I'm in Uyo, I go to church and hide at the back. So your dad and Bishop T.D. Jakes. But your dad holds a special place in my heart. Oh my God, I could tear up because, oh my God, I'm about to tear up talking about your dad. What is going on here? Because at a point when I was almost going to leave Christianity, just tired, just exhausted, and I chanced upon your dad's videos on YouTube. And I was like, I've been thinking that. I've been saying that. Oh my God. And I went to Google and I'm like, no, maybe he's a new pastor. I cannot listen to new pastors. Then I found out, no, it's not just, it's an OG pastor, PFN leader, etc. Then he has preached at Trem, which is one of my favorite churches. Your father saved my faith.
Oh my gosh.
Your father saved my faith. And so I'm so deeply just thankful to him. So when I discovered you guys separately, of course, then I was researching, I'm like, no, it cannot be the same time. So I'm like, no, it cannot, like, it's not fair for one family.
It is.
It is. But what was it like growing up with such radicals for parents?
I feel like, you know how your parents, you just say, oh, they're my parents, so you have to respect them. But for me, right now, it's they've earned it in a way. It's not just because they're my parents, but the way they've lived their lives, the way they've raised us, the way they handle situations that I would think that, Mommy should not know. But then her response would just make me I'm so happy I told you, you know, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, there's just that mutual respect. I mean, we fool around, we play and everything, but when it comes to the serious stuff, the way they handle things is just amazing. I love them.
It's godly.
It's very godly.
Yeah.
And you know how people think that godly means
serious.
strict. And so when we meet people and they don't see us doing that, they're like, come, are you sure?
Are you
know,
Christian?
there's something different, like what's going on? And then we're just like, honestly, where do we start? Oh yeah, sit down, let me tell you, you know, and that's how it is. So, but yeah, I think the way they raised us has really affected how our mindsets and who we are, just even our work.
I dare say our parents are responsible for where we are in terms of how much we've grown and even our success in film and in music, because there are many times that we've doubted ourselves. There's many times we've wanted to quit. I think our fans should personally thank our parents for our channel still being in existence, because there's times where the pressure was here. And in our team, what a lot of people don't know is...
You want to delete the YouTube?
Yes, delete the channel. And this is when it was doing all these big numbers, right? But there was so much pressure in terms of we sitting here are our team. We film the show, we write the show, we edit the show. But people don't understand how much that takes from a person. There was a time where we were just ghosts sitting at computers. Like, there was nothing, there's nothing you could tell me. I was ready to give up. But I was like, Daddy, so I'm going to delete this channel now. He said, no, they don't do like that. Calm down. Have you eaten? Relax. Have you eaten?
That's the problem.
No, your mother is cooking, quite eat. You'll be like, okay, they always try to, even with mean comments as well, because we got a lot of mean comments, especially if we would delay like maybe a day
to release
an episode or a few hours.
People would be saying mean comments because you are
oh my God.
They would come for us.
Like a minute before the premiere,
you
they'll
guys
be
said,
like, you know how it's like a minute before the premiere. Oh my God, I love you guys. I can't wait.
Yes, and then you're late by a minute. Where is it? You people are always falling our hand. This is nonsense. You are the worst. This is why I don't watch this. I'm unsubscribing now.
Yes.
Like
vicious, like
complete flip, and I'll be like, where's the support?
Where's the love?
I don't see like a single "I love you guys" anymore.
Yes.
Everything is just
Just
like, oh my
switch it.
God.
Like at some point, we just have to turn it off.
Turn off,
Yeah.
Then my dad would be like, listen, this happens. That they're holding you accountable. If you said 8 o'clock, why isn't it up by 8? And apart from that, when things like this happen, even if you're not at fault, you have to be bigger than the situation and see that it comes with the territory. You know, at that moment, we're not ready to hear it because we're like, even
though.
all my blood and sweat.
Understand.
It's like there's no way they're going to understand. They don't know what it takes. So you have to be. You have to think. Yes, you have to think graciously. And he's the reason. They're, especially my mom too. They're the reason why a lot of our success has been. You know.
Even while we were shooting, like we'd have late nights, and then the next morning call time is like 7. And I'll wake up and I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not doing this. You guys can shoot the rest of the show without me. I'm not doing this. And my dad would come to my room. He's like, Jeiel, you have 7 a.m. call time. I'm like, Daddy, I quit. I'm not Olive anymore. They should cast someone else. He's like, no, they don't do like that.
They don't do like that.
Calm down.
Yeah, have you eaten
Your
this
mom
money
is cooking. You can't eat. Drink tea. Do you need some coffee? And it's always just like, it makes me laugh. And I'm just like, okay, I go in a better mood. Like,
tell me about one of you guys' biggest fights. What do you fight about?
What don't we fight about?
Actually, it sets things.
I would say the power dynamic on set.
Yes, it's always
It's usually the basis of
they're the elephant out of the grass.
Yeah, sure.
And always has like the middleman, like.
No, because she's your elder sister.
Yeah.
And then,
But she wrote the show.
But she wrote the show. You're
She's
directing it.
Yes.
Normally, in the anatomy of everything, she's at the head.
Yes.
But
you're not having it.
I have a vision, and unfortunately for her, I'm also part of the process. So if I see her doing something that I don't understand, I'm like, hello, sister. That's not what we wrote. That's not what we agreed. Actually, like, when did me and you agreed? I'm the director. I say we do this. And the good thing is she's so lovely because she is always willing to do it how I want. Because at the end of the day, we have similar interests when it comes to film. So she knows what I want, but sometimes she'll make a decision that I wasn't a part of. So when I come and I'm seeing it going in a different way, I start yelling or being upset.
She'll bring out the sister parts.
And then
like,
this one is like, do you think... She's like, do you think I made a decision without thinking it through first? Or do you think I'm just moving mad? I'm just like, oh, let's no, she's like, I have thought through, and I think this is the best way to. And I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. But then I've already caused, some strife. And when we go home, she's like telling my mom that Jesi just totally usurps my authority. She doesn't listen to me. She's always yelling at me. And my mom will be like, you rat, shut up your mouth.
I love your mom. I love your mom.
My mom is like, obviously, you guys are sisters. You put your heads together. You talk about it here in the room. But when you go out, she's the leader of the thing, and you're just whatever. Because I do other things on set. She's like, whatever role you're supposed to do, stick with that. Don't interrupt her process, or don't put your mouth. I'm like, okay, sorry.
I think there's even a fight we had on set, and she left. Like she left.
Yes,
She didn't come back.
I just went home, and my parents were like, "What are you doing at home?" I said, "Mommy, I quit. I'm not going back." My dad was like, "Oh,
TripleJ Plus."
I left them on location. I entered the bus. I took the bus home. I was like, "You be stranded," and they were far from town. I was like, "Be stranded. I don't care." I just went home. My dad was like, "Okay, relax." He said, "But you know you go back." I said, "I'm not going back. I'm not going back." He said, "I was like, okay, cool down, honey. Give us something to eat."
I love that. I want to say what ability.
The mom was like, Then she called and said that she was hungry.
Funny enough, I was actually sick that period.
Right.
So I didn't even expect her to come back, and I didn't have energy to fight, so I just let her go. But then all of a sudden, I saw the boss coming back, and she was
I came back with food. I was like, Mommy sent you things, and I had to be the delivery man, so there you go. Just take it.
And that's how she
We
came
kind of
back.
made up from there.
Yeah.
You guys just seem to focus on the work.
Yeah.
Is that deliberate?
I think
We love the work. I would say it's because we're not quite where we want to be, and we can only spend our energies
On so
trying to
much.
get
Get
there.
the work. I love that.
And-
Wait. Oh, that was so heartfelt and so powerful.
That's really what it is,
Ooh,
because
we love the work,
Yes.
and that we are not yet where we want to be.
at all,
I feel like we've not even scratched
we haven't
The
started.
the
surface.
surface.
Oh
We're
my
still doing like
God.
pre-project.
Then sometimes we'll just be sitting and talking, and we're like,
I can't wait.
We're like, get the camera, get the camera.
People are just in the research stage.
Exactly.
we'll be like freaking out, like, oh my God, okay,
I can't
okay,
wait.
just write it down,
Yeah.
just write it down.
Yeah.
Like the next day, it's like the next idea, like
Yeah.
it could literally be anything, maybe something
The
she
littlest
says,
thing
or like a
that
situation
should
we
be in a
have,
film.
and before you know it, the whole project has come out from it. So we're
Yeah.
just like,
I
I feel
always
like
just put
that's just
myself
how
in there.
we've kind of just put ourselves to just keep focusing on the work.
Where
I
we're
think it's
going,
even now after Best Friends, because we've actually got a lot of people saying, oh my God, how do you have this show and you're not doing anything with
Yeah,
this? You're
some
not
people are telling us
doing
many
this."
people don't know you're even Nigerian or
Yes.
that you're in
Yes.
Nigeria.
I didn't know you were in
Yes.
Nigeria. I thought it was a set was both Nigerian, and I thought this set could have been built anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah.
So so there was all that because it just
Yeah.
felt the thing looks too good to be true. It just, do you get what I mean? It just feels like,
Yeah.
is Disney investing in Nigeria without telling us? Are they like trying something? At the first I was like, that's why I began to research. I'm like, no, this is not too, this is too good to be true. And this is all organic. No. Maybe it's Hulu, maybe it's ABC Network, maybe they're just doing something.
Amen.
We just
Yeah.
So I think it's just now we're even trying to say, and funny enough, the reason we're even saying, okay, maybe we should consider sponsors. Maybe it's for the next project. It's not even
Not for this one.
Yes, it's just for like, oh my God, the next one has to
Because
be
we
better.
know
Because
how, yeah.
I feel like for me, the negativity I received that really hit me was the whole, oh, why is the boom showing? Why is the edit doing
those
this? And it was more technical for me because I'm literally the only one doing everything. I'm the one with the framing, I have to direct, and then it's like sometimes I don't see that the boom has dipped in because I'm too busy focusing on the acting or, one thing or the other. Then it's when it's premiering, I'm like, that was a boom. That was a boom pulling the show. And like sometimes I cannot literally watch the premiere because I'm just waiting for something to happen.
Your sister was kidnapped when she was younger.
Yes, when she was
Yes.
5.
When she was 5.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I was writing my SSCE, I think, and she was writing Jesi to go to SS1.
No.
I think.
We're writing-
There was like this
there was an
important
exam. There was an
Yeah, I
exam.
can't remember what exactly, but it was
Yeah.
this whole exam that if you don't take it, you can't move to the next
Yeah.
level. And we had prayers that morning.
Yeah, we had a whole prayer
regular-
program in church.
Yeah,
prayers
was
every
going on in
morning.
church, but then in the house we're just in our regular, thank you God, early morning devotion, and then Jeiel got ready for school, but we weren't ready, and my mom said, so she won't be late.
Let me go
Let our uncle take her to school, and then we will go with the driver.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, so she left. So we're still at home. All of a sudden we heard like sound, and then we like locked the door. We're not really sure what was going on.
What it was,
Someone
yeah.
came, knocked at the window, and then left. So after a few minutes, we're just like, what's going on? Whatever. My mom got a call from my uncle that he said, they've taken Jeiel. So my mother was like, taking her to where? Like school? What do you mean they've taken Jeiel? It's like some armed man came, pointed at the gun to her and said, come with us, we're your daddy's friends, just come, okay? And she followed them and now she's gone. All I know is that there was just a lot of this thing going on.
Emotion.
They didn't tell us
Tell us,
yet.
yeah.
I could see, like, he didn't even know
They didn't
how
know
to
how to
put
tell
it.
us,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was just like, Daddy, what now? We'll be late for school. Like, what's going on? I said, Jeiel has been kidnapped.
Be like,
Be like,
And now they say that Jeiel has been kidnapped. Sound effect. And we're just like, we wanted to start crying. My father was like, don't cry. I remember the first day, so I think they asked for like ransom and everything. And then I think that time my mom's ringtone was her singing.
with the voice, yeah.
A voice note she
recording
did.
of her, yeah.
So I think the third day, the song was playing. My mom flung the phone across the room. Like, she was just like, she doesn't want to hear anything.
Yeah.
And then the 4th day, 5th day, 6th day. I think on the 6th day, we went to church again. We did prayers, and then we would pray also for her. But when we came back, it was so terrible because I remember my dad saying, he was like, God,
told
if
God, yeah.
she's not returned by like the next day or like before it gets to the 7th day, I'm going to leave
I'm leaving ministry.
and leave this country and just carry the rest of my 2 children and go. I really remember that because he said it like in the parlor when we were doing our prayers. And my mom was just like, they should just return her back. I don't know, however they want to do it. They should just,
even if she's in pieces.
even if she's in pieces,
Pieces,
they should
I'll
bring
put
it
her
out,
back together.
stick her back and keep it.
Just be-
The 7th day, when we were about to give up, I remember I was sitting in my
6
room
a.m.
and
It's really
yeah, it
early.
was really early, and I heard we have a picket fence. I heard the fence open, and I just saw a short head like bopping and coming down, and I was like, "Oh my God, Jeiel is here!"
Yeah.
Like
We
we
rushed to
flew. Like I remember we all struggled to pass through the door because there were like 5 of us. Like we walked and just like, "Oh, hi guys."
They painted the house.
They painted the house. Like
It was the windows.
we
yeah,
was
put
like,
in the windows.
what? Child, oh my God. Like her hair was like chop all over.
Yeah, they had
she was
cut
wearing
her
one, like
hair,
a
she was wearing
boy's
rags.
clothing. Her mom would, she like stripped that, shaved her head, like
Yes.
cleaned her up. And she was just so like, oh wow, guys. And then I think I remember her saying, Daddy, why didn't you come and get me? Something like that.
So, I mean, obviously, when you came back, you were not traumatized by this because, I mean, somehow or the other, you were able to remain in yourself.
Yeah.
And did it change you in any way, affect you in any way, or no? No,
I
it's-
think the biggest change at that time, the change isn't here anymore, but like the biggest change at that time was the hostility towards my dad. I was fine with my mom and my sisters, but I was really just like, every time I see him, I just frown and like hide behind my mom.
Yeah.
I was really scared of men and guys because all my kidnappers were guys. So if I see a guy, I'd be like freaking out. I think even till I was 15, 16 or like 17 when we were in Orlando, and I knew I was like, it still like had some effect. Was we were standing on the road and this huge van passed and I was like just standing and I was like, nope. And I just like froze. I was like, let me just go back inside because anything could happen. So I still have, or I used to have those,
Yeah.
So how did
But
you
it's
come
not
out
as
of
bad.
them?
I think just being with my family, healing, especially from God, just constant prayer and just remembering that I'm safe, I'm back home, God's with me, nothing can harm me. So just that constant reminder every day
all of
really
that.
helped, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
In case I have not said it,
It was great.
I'm your fan.
It was great.
Thank you so
I
much.
I think that first of all, I think that you guys are just geniuses. I honestly think so. I'm not exaggerating the word.
Thank you.
I think so. You're doing something that hasn't been done before in
Yeah.
ways that it has never been done. I just love the focus on the work. And I just think that I'm sorry if I'm being patronizing, but I'm old enough to patronize. I think that your parents just did an incredible, just listening to you guys. I'm
Yes.
like, Oscoff. Oscoff, they must do great things. Thank you. And I can't wait to see all the incredible things that your studio and the signature style is going to do in Africa and in the world. I said it
you.
like in a few years.
You said it
when it's
first.
happening, you'll be like,
You said it
this
first.
man
said
said
it.
it.
Said it.
He said it. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having
And
us.
it's a wrap.